action.
So guys, you see when you think nurture being, just think of like a one-stop herbal shop, you know? Where you can go, you can get your herbs, your skincare herbs, you can get your herbs for your internal care. We have things for the blood, for the heart, for the lungs, for the stomach. We have for if you have spotty skin, the skin dehydrated. You see, women, your vagina itch, we have something for you. You have tenderness, when you are overlaid, we have something for you. Hormonal imbalance, we have something for you. Men with the limp dick, we have something for you. Your face bumpy, and you need something to clean up the blood, we have something for you. You know? Your kidney, your liver non-function, we have something for you. Your skin dry and scaly, we have something for you. You don't know what to eat, you're not sure how to eat or what to eat, we have something for you. Same it. So every single thing you can think of, we have something for you. So when you're thinking about complete nutrition in terms of medicinal plant and stuff, just think Nurture Being. Trust me. Nurture Being? Yeah. Our one-stop herb shop.
All right, so as chief of the Maroons, have you heard of Ibrahim Traore, and what is your message for him?
Well, I've heard about Ibrahim Traore, and my message for him is...
Now, what if I told you that there's a hidden village in the Jamaican mountains where warriors still walk in the footsteps of their indigenous ancestral warriors? Welcome to Charlestown, a living legacy of rebellion, freedom, and ancestral power. These are the Maroons, fearless fighters who vanished into the wild and built a nation. Drums still echo the heartbeat of resistance. Their stories were once whispered in secret. Now we're bringing them to light. This isn't just history, this is a living fire. Stay tuned, for you've never heard Jamaica told like this.
Akwaba, Akwaba, Akwaba. Akwaba is the formal greetings of the Maroon, and when I say Akwaba, you say Akwaba. Alright, so that's the way you respond to a Maroon whenever you go to a Maroon village. My name is Delana Douglas, indigenously known as Padam, and Padam means sounds of the drum. I am currently the acting chief or colonel or leader of this beautiful Maroon community of Charlestown here in Portland. And behind me here is actually our Asafu yard, which is a central point, meaning a meeting ground, a ceremonial ground. And Asafu means to dance. Now there are two kinds of Asafu. You have Asafu chief and you have Asafu yard. Now the Asafu yard is a space where we the Maroons prepare ourselves spiritually before and after battle. Alright? Before we prepare ourselves for guidance, before we're going out to fight, and after we cleanse ourselves because we don't want to take any negative energies back into our own space. Alright? Now an Asafu chief will be in the same context as a colonel or a chief. The Asafu warrior would be like the captains and majors and all these persons within ranks of this Maroon community. So there you have the two Asafu in one snap. All right. Now on the inside here, you can see we have a banner which actually advertise our 17th annual International Maroon Conference and Festival, which will actually take place from June 20 to 23rd, right here in this area. All right, and it's for 4 days of festivity. As you can see, we have the academical panel, that's the first day, and the bingo night. And then we have the Taino Solstice, the Yakahuna Arieto. And then we have the community day and the bonfire concert, which we also have the Victory Day and the Ancestral Day celebrations. So these are our actually the actually activities that will be taken here on the ground within the course of these 4 days. All right? Yes. And definitely this space is welcome for everyone. Everyone is welcome within this space to come and learn about our history and our culture, and to get to know about the Maroon some more, and actually the herbal plants and stuff that we have around us. All right, definitely.
Okay. And this is where you beat your drums as well. I see some drums right there, actually.
Yeah.
Some djembes.
Everything takes place. This is the central point of our culture,
Yeah.
This is what I said. If you have a wedding, if you're married in culturally, it can take place here.
Yeah.
A chief has died, the service will take place here.
Okay.
So this is our central point for meetings, for different ceremonies, whatever it is, for drum class. And actually every Friday night, me and Mustafa Reds is a master drummer of all Jamaican folk farm rhythm and West African rhythms. And I am the Cromanti master drummer for all Maroon communities across Jamaica. And we sit here every Friday night with about 25, 27 kids, teaching them the culture, passing it down to them, teaching them about how the drumming skills and how to really showcase themselves in front of an audience while doing a cultural presentation.
What's the spiritual power behind the djembe or behind the drum?
The spiritual, there's a lot of spiritual stuff behind the drum, because the drum itself is a portal, all right, which communicates not only to us as the living, but to also our ancestral spirits. It communicates to the entire universe that surrounds us, all right? So anything that you need in life, you can put it through the drums, and you'll get it back forward. All right?
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. Yes, I do recognize that.
You do recognize this?
Recognize this.
Yeah, so we normally use the cocoon to represent an art on a chain. Well, this is a long story, but my heart is broken, and it will remain this way.
Okay.
It's not because of a relationship, but not of a spouse type of relationship. This represents my sister, and she was a past chief, and you're gonna see a lot more, or hear a lot more about her on the inside. All right, but she's the last person who had worked on this chain, and shortly before she passed away, I felt the spot of this just fell off.
Really?
I glued it on back, and it fell off again. So I just leave it because I know something will happen. And from ever since, trying to keep myself together, but it's not so easily done. But here we are. Now the cocoon is very essential to our culture, and I will tell you why when we get there.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Now we'll start talking about these carvings on the outside of the Asafi yard, which do tells us about the different scenarios and different part of our culture. Now, right here you can see 3 persons playing wind instruments. Can any one of you guys tell me what kind of instrument you think they are playing?
That looks something like a flute.
Hey, I wonder if you're a Maroon. Are you a Maroon? Possibly. All right, so yes, these are actually bamboo flutes. And this is a part of the carving that is actually illustrating that we are worldwide known as drummers and dancers and singers. But we are just showing them that we use other instruments, not only drums, to create additional melodies to our music, because each rhythms have different purpose. All right? So with the different rhythms, we have different instruments that create different melodies that serve the purpose for that ceremonial time. All right? Even if we're going to choose a lifelong partner, we have a different rhythm. All right? Do you ever hear they sing a song in Broadway, Jamaica? All right, so that's one of the songs that we're singing culturally when our foreparents were choosing their partners. All right? So we just play them as ring games, but we don't know the meaning of these stuff, all right? Yeah, because we grow traditionally learning these stuff. Yeah. All right? So some of these ring games were used traditionally to choose partners and to do other things, all right? So there's a story behind everything that we do, all right? Now, right here, this carving is actually a procession march. This is actually something that happens amongst all Akan tribe, or Akan people, all right? Right here, we are part of the Ashanti kingdom, all right? We have Ashanti, we have Afanti, we have Ga, we have Cromanti, all right? This Maroon community, we have a mixture of all, but it's majority Ashanti within the space. Right. All right? Now, this is actually how they escort a chief during a procession march, in which you're going to see that happening here on the 23rd of June, which is our peace treaty victory day. All right, that's a Kwau Day, victory day. All right. Now on that day, you'll see different chiefs from different community marching in. All right. Like for me, I'll be marching in, 2 escorts, 2 drummers, and the entire community behind me, and so forth for the rest of the chief. And that's how it's done over there in Africa, in Ghana, because they have a special time of the year in which they take out the Ghanaian stool. All right. And every Ashanti tribe across the world has a replica of that stool, including us. But it's only shown and taken out once per year. All right? We don't trouble it otherwise. Now, there's a significance for the umbrella, because rather the king march in or carried in on a special design chariot, or so forth transported on the back of a donkey that they are seeing here, they normally have an umbrella that is installed over their heads. And the umbrella is a significant, meaning that the bigger the umbrella is the more wealth or power that king has, or that chief has. All right, so if you go to a procession march and you want to find the big man in the room because you have a proposal for him, just watch the umbrella. He will tell you who to talk to. All right, and even so much more, we do have a language. We the Maroons have a language, meaning that 2 Maroons can be here talking private business in public space. Meaning we could say Yanking Pong de Sal Smart Pre Shang Pong Nani Kom Sikim Bebwa. Meaning God bless us all today, and may the Queen of Heaven pour down the richest blessing on our daily proceeding. All right. Such forth, we have a donkey within this space. All right. So if I'm talking to one of my fellow Maroons and I don't want you to know I'm talking about a donkey, I'll say a punge. All right. And a bunge is the same meaning as donkey. All right.
But hold on, one thing, you know, sir, they look like historical Moors. The turbans.
Yes, because remember, even Islamic Muslims and stuff were also a part of who were transported here. All right, because if you go to Moortown, they say Maliko Jack, and you have to reply by saying Salam Maliko, even though Akwaba is fine enough. All right, that means that, and that's just the same as Malaikum Salam, Salam Alaikum, Malaikum Salam. So they say Maliko Jack, meaning you're a man. If they're talking to your other half, they say Maliko Jenny. So that is telling you who's male from who's female. Or if they say Maliko, that means they're just giving you an overall greeting. Yeah, you say Salam Alaikum. All right? So it's the same as saying Salam Alaikum, Malaikum Salam.
Alaikum salam.
Yeah. All right. Now, right here is what we call the serenity doll, or the fertility doll. Now, it is said that if a couple is infertile, with a special ceremony done, they will place this doll at the main entrance of your house. Then, with the proper practice, and you go about on a daily routine doing what you normally do casually in the day, with that proper practice, within months, the couple will be fertile and start reproducing.
Right.
All right? Now, on these columns here, these are Adinkra symbols, here and there. May take a little while to explain, but because it's you, I'm gonna give you some info, because I know your purpose, right? And I've been watching you.
All right, guys, Nurture being here, and I just wanted to say that we're actually expanding our healing by trying to set up a healing center, a place where you guys could come in,
Learn to eat, learn proper cultural practices for maintaining your health, just learning the correct ritual on how to maintain the home with good health, how to maintain your kids with good health, good herbs, how to eat, when to eat, right?
and you guys can now see the herbs that are going to do the work, where you guys can now learn how to utilize and to even identify the herbs that are going to do the work. So what we're doing is that we're focusing on YouTube as a way to generate these funds. We also ask that you guys subscribe to our Patreon. In our Patreon, we have Herbal Talks, right? We show behind the scene access or content with our vlogs and our videos. We talk history we talk hidden history, we talk metaphysics. It's a whole university back there in the Patreon. So
I am the Neb Sorcerer Supreme, and this is an emergency broadcast. You see, humanity indeed is awakening, and many are tapping into their spiritual abilities. But there exists to be opposition. Opposition in the form of global elites, world governments, and the puppet masters who control them. These puppet masters have also placed the hex on your mind. Yes, you have been brainwashed, programmed, and controlled throughout your whole existence. And this goes especially for the black race. You are the race that has suffered immensely. You are the race that has forgotten your identity. Yet, you are the race full of love. You are the race of melanin that continues to smile during the darkest of times. But again, the hex is on your mind, and it is here on the Melanin Matrix channel, where both the black gods of this planet, as well as the other races, shall discover the truths of reality, history, and themselves. Yes, that's right. You will see the signs to your spiritual awakening. You will come across informations that were intentionally hidden from the history books. You will learn of sound, frequency, and dark matter energy. You will fully grasp what are secret societies. Now I leave it to you, my fellow gods, to help this channel grow, for we will wake up.
Now, this actually represents the sun. And what does this look like to you? Which animal does this look like to you?
Crocodile or something like crab.
A turtle.
Turtle, right.
All right. But I often tell people that this is the moon. Yeah, I get that. I get it.
Reason, I think I know why, because I was on the turtle back and how it represents the times.
There you go. There you go. All right. So you see that?
Yeah.
All right. Because as I said, inside on the turtle back, you have 13 different compartments that represent each month. Mm-hmm. All right. And then around the head, there are some specially designed round bump looking like a knuckle. And when you check them, you find 28 of them, representing each day of the month. Because if they say 7 days make a week, 4 weeks make a month, there should be 28 days in each month. Meaning that we are all been manipulated for working 13 months but getting 12 months pay. So that's the trick that the system used to manipulate the entire world. All right, not just us, but everyone is under that manipulation. Now, every time that the turtle comes from wherever their inhabitants, whether the sea or a spring or wherever they want to, they stay, and they come to the shore to lay their eggs, it's normally on a full moon. All right?
So you follow that lunar cycle.
Lunar cycle, all right? Now over here, you can see a ladder, and this is also actually a compass. Now, my question to you again.
What does it look like?
Is the world flat or is it round like a ball?
I think it's flat.
Man, me and you, we see things alike. All right, so they can't fool us. No more. Now, this ladder, anywhere you see it amongst Akan people, it represents the ladder of death. Yeah. And this actually represents what took place in the ship, as you can see in this carving all the way over here. Now, on this side here, you can also see the leather that is incorporated in this diagram, or this carving. Yeah. So this carving actually represents the slave trade, the slave triangle Atlantic trade, where it's a transportation of enslaved Africans from Africa to the Caribbean and other parts of the world. Now, this represents inside the belly of the ship, where our ancestor was placed in one area. They had to sit there, pass their urine and feces, and also have their meal right where they sit. So the living condition wasn't healthy, so they often get sick. Now, the only treatment they had was free, fresh oxygen. So they had to take them up this ladder to the top bunk for them to get fresh oxygen. If they had to recuperate or restore their energy, it was down back into the belly of the ship. But if they show no signs of improvement, they would just throw them overboard and say, c'est la vie. Mean they see them no more. All right? And this is why I think sharks are normally follow ship. From those days until now, it becomes their tradition because they always get things to eat. Meaning that they always throw slaves over there and the sharks normally eat them. All right? Yeah.
That's brutal though. That's so
Yeah, it is. And this is why I take my culture so seriously, you know? Now, this guy here looks like he's running from someone. But no, he's not. This is actually a dance stance. All right? So major of the time that you see our dancers, you know, Dinky Mini, you want to show the people them how them dance Dinky Mini?
Remember of the Dinky Mini and the next one they have Brookins.
Brookins, all right.
And then I have other one with the Maypole.
Maypole, all right. So she should know a whole heap of cultural dance, all right? But our dance is very similar to Dinky Mini, all right? The reason why, the right name for it is not Dinky Mini, it's Zella, because it was invented right here.
Right.
All right? So make that clear for the world to know. Zella was invented right here, and persons take it and call it Dinky Mini. All right? So it's this 1 foot forward, on tippy toe with the other, and you sway in the hips. So it's like a dance like this. All right? And you turn. All right? So it's a similar dance like that. So if you notice, I'm in that same stand.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have another step that we do in the Cromanti dance because it's a part of our traditional dance too as well, where we step. So, you know, it still look like I'm running. All right. So this is why 95% of the time you see us on stage dancing, they take a photograph, it seems like we are running. All right. Yeah.
And I can imagine how beautiful it looks, because when we were going to school and they do the Dinky Mini in your dress.
Oh God.
Do the thing.
Yes. You just come here June and maybe you find yourself on the stage dancing with us too as well. Because here in June, you're free to be a part of what we're doing.
Right.
And even today on the tour, you're free to dance to us. All right? Now, this is when they brought dogs, or bloodhounds, from Cuba to hunt us as the Maroon. Now, this is when we talk about the carcoon. All right? Now, this is the carcoon. All right? And before I talk about it, I want to say we, the Maroons, are the inventors of guerrilla warfare, the art of ambush and camouflage, close quarters combat. The carcoon vine grows for miles within these mountains. But the leaves get so big that one leaf could cover half of your face like this. All right? Now, one question to you guys. If I say ambush, what's the meaning of ambush? What would you tell me?
I would.
Anyone?
To me, ambush would have come like you're in a camouflage and you're getting closer and closer to your enemies without them knowing.
So more like a surprise attack.
Yeah.
But me like how you put it, you say either you camouflage.
Yeah.
So at least you have some knowledge of what's going on. All right? Now, when we the Maroons say ambush, it means I am bush.
Yeah.
We become one with nature.
Yeah.
So that's the art of camouflage. Now, if you rub to yourself from 82 in Cocoon Vine and stand against that tree there, you blend in, no one will see you.
Right.
So what actually transpired that the British soldiers were marching up the bridle passage in their big, bright red coats. We the Maroons stand right at the wayside in the art of ambush, in the camouflage. Now, when they pass, we take the one from the back. But it's not like they didn't see us, they saw us. But what did they see? They saw the jungle came to life and took away their soldier, never to see him again.
Yeah.
So this is when they brought these dogs here that we know known today in Jamaica as mongrel.
Yes.
All right, they brought these dogs here to hunt us, to track us down. So we had to defend ourselves against these dogs. Some of them were killed, but some was captured and later tamed and used to defend our territories. Now this is why we have these dogs here today, as a part of our society, or a part of our country. Right? Because they do play a vital role in our everyday life as security and all of that. All right. Now, on this painting here.
And a dinker again.
Yes, but I'm talking about this painting. Can you see any maroons there?
This is the ambush.
Yeah. Do you see any maroons there?
Ambush. Yeah, me see one man.
One blue man.
One blue man, yeah.
All right. You see the bank blower. He always give me away.
Oh, me never see the abeng, you know.
Yeah.
Never see the abeng.
All right. But there's a hand right here.
Okay.
And over here, these two eyes are looking at you.
Oh, yeah, me see it.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
And right here, this next stand right here,
This?
that is actually a rifle, a musket,
Yeah.
pointing at you. All right.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. So actually, we're going to talk about these other two carvings, which this one is kind of a bit touching because this is how they punish pregnant female through slavery, because you know they used to have breather tummy inside that old. Yank her head down so her bottom naturally comes up, and then they spin around and they spunk her on the bottom. You know, and that was terrifying.
Yeah.
All right, because you know pregnant female already they're a bit edgy, so you cannot stop them from because that's naturally, you know, they have been going through a lot, because taking a baby inside for 9 months, I can actually, you know, because I'm a father, so I actually understand what she's going through at that moment.
That's it. That's
Shot.
it.
All right. All right. I know you have seen this Adinka symbol that you maybe know, Sankova. Yeah. And it does represent past, present, and future.
Past, present, and future.
All right. So we take from our ancestors, we maintain and sustain it. This is what the body means. We maintain and sustain whatever we get from the past and keep it and pass it down to the future kids. So we put it in these terms. We are now the head of our household. We are now the leaders of present day today. All right. The tail feather represents our ancestors. The egg represents our child. Represent the future. So we say we are now going back into the past to take something from the past in which we can use for our ways or means of survival for the future. And that is our rich, diverse culture. All right. So I say all of that to say this. Welcome to the Charlestown Maroon Museum.
This is where the recording ends, and this is where the recording ends, and guys, may I take a look aside look so. I mean, I tell us in the nice. In the nice, but we can't record it. But me see why in there nice, so come see for yourself. That me I talk about. In there nice.
Alright, now the sounds of the drum isn't just music, it's a message. When the Maroons of Jamaica beats their drums, they're not just performing, they're calling on the actual ancestors. These rhythms once echoed through the Blue Mountains as a warning signal and celebrations. Drumming was the Maroon telegraph, a secret code that no colonial soldier could break. But more than that, it was and still is a spiritual lifeline. Every beat is a heartbeat from Africa, a vibration that connects past to present. In Charlestown, these sacred rhythms summon energy, honor, resistance, and open portals to realms unseen. This isn't just drumming. This is an ancestral technology pulsing with memory, power, and pride. Can you feel it? So every herb, every root, every handmade necklace carries more than just a function. It carries intention. For the Maroons and many traditional African communities, natural medicine is not just about healing the body, it's about aligning the spirit. These plants were chosen by ancestors, guided by dreams, visions, and deep connections to the land. When you drink a bush or rub healing oils into your skin, you're not just treating an illness, you're engaging in a sacred communication with nature itself. And the accessories, they're not just jewelry, they're actual protection. Every bead, every carved pendant, every strand of thread has meaning. Some are worn to repel bad energy, others to attract favor, balance the chakras, or remind the wearer of who they are. To live naturally isn't a trend, it's a ceremony, a rebellion, a return. In every Maroon village and traditional household, the choice to use natural remedies and wear a handmade adornment is a declaration. It's saying, I remember who I am. I honor where I came from. This is the culture you feel in the body, the spirit, and the soul. Right, so as chief of the Maroons, have you heard of Ibrahim Traore, and what is your message for him?
Well, I've heard about Ibrahim Traore, and my message for him is to keep on doing the good work that he's doing. It's time for us to revolutionize ourselves as African and really take back what is rightfully ours. And so he's doing that wonderful job where he's sensitizing and educating Africa and uniting Africa as a nation. All right, as one people, and that is how it's supposed to be. Because how could Africa be the poorest continent and it has the most wealth of it all? The Europeans has been coming inside of Africa over the years, and even within our spaces here in Jamaica and other indigenous spaces, and taking out all the wealth from amongst the people and giving us what? Nothing more than destruction. So keep on doing the work you're doing, Abraham. You're doing a wonderful job.